Guys, in Naruto Storm 4, we're talking about ban lists and character power levels. Basically, who are the strongest characters in the game, and how do they relate to the other 80 to 90% of the roster that's not as strong as them? So, we have a question here, an amazing question. We're going to answer this question here. He asked this awesome question. It says, what are your thoughts on Yugito? They're my main, but are very subtle in the power that they have. I do agree that the strength of the play is dependent on the team that you use or they use. Yugito's tilt is the most broken spacing option. Also, her up combo goes straight into her neutral with tracking. Also, her regular jutsu and guard break in one hit if the correct conditions are met. She's an absolute insane character and flies under the radar. Are one of the strongest options. She's one of the strongest options in the game. Okay, guys, perfect question. I specifically didn't put Yugito in my ban list, and here's why. We're going to talk about her specifically. In that video, I said, in general, not always, but in general, if a character is stronger than Pain, you have to ban them. Pain is kind of like the absolute strongest character that you can have overall before we start banning them, because almost nobody bans Pain. Whether they're casual or competitive players, nobody bans them. There's a few people that really don't like Shinra Tensei, that really don't like Pain, but Pain has been a staple of online games, online Storm games since Storm 2. And it's kind of like taking out a Fireball or Hadouken or something like that out of a Street Fighter game. It's that much of a staple. He's always been one of the stronger characters, and just because a character is strong, we don't want to take them out of the game. If we take out too many characters out of the game, it's not good, right? Like, I mean, you have to take out what you have to take out because the game was abandoned a long time ago. The developers don't support this game, and they haven't for a long time. So it's up to the communities, if the communities want to make the game competitive, to understand what competition is, to understand what, having like a 50-50 chance in winning the game is, opposed to when you start based on what your characters are. If one team has X, this character A, B, C, and the other characters have C, D, G, or whatever, then you can't win just because A, B, C are much stronger. And right away, even if they're equally skilled opponents, people who have A, B, C, opposed to the other character player that doesn't have that, will basically have like a 10 to 30% chance of losing just because they don't have the characters. That makes no sense. There's nothing fair about that. It's like if you're showing up to a sword fight or a samurai sword fight, and then what the other guy, he has a samurai sword, you have a samurai sword, then he also has guns, machine guns, Gatling guns, bombs, nukes, and you're sitting there with a samurai sword being like, and I have to beat you. I mean, it's possible, but it's not likely, right? So this is what I have them here beside themselves. Beside each other here is Pain and Yugito. And I want to ask you guys in the questions below, tell me what you think. Is Yugito stronger than Pain, and why? Or is Pain stronger than Yugito, or why? Or are they equal? So I'm just going to give you my opinion. That's what you guys came here for, and then we can talk about it. The other thing to think about is, even if that is true, or whatever is true there, is there counterplay to Yugito? And if so, is there sufficient counterplay? Like, are there sufficient options for me as the player that doesn't use Yugito in my team, and I have to fight the Yugito? Are there sufficient options for me to defeat that Yugito player? Yes, the tilt is free. Yes, the tilt is insane. It's really good. She's really, really good. But her jitsu is not that great. Her awakening is not that great. I mean, they're good. But it's not like Six Pass Madara's awakening, right? It's not like Danzo's awakening. It's not even like Asuma's awakening, which Asuma is like a budget Danzo, right? So it's all tilt. And is that tilt so strong that we have to ban it? Well, the interesting thing about that is that we want to actually compare the Sarada, I don't know which one this is, but the strongest Sarada, the one with the lightning flicker and the kunai that goes across the map and it stuns things and it has priority over lots of stuff in the game for free, and it's fast, it's easily accessible in her kit early on, opposed to Nagato, right? Who actually, that shuriken is really good, but for top players, we kind of just avoid it, right? Like we know it's coming. We know we have X amount of time before it comes out. We have like 2 or 3 seconds before it comes out. There's a sufficient amount of time before that kunai comes out. Of course, it can be used in certain situations, like on Oki, on Wake Up and stuff like that. And, it can be abusable. It's a great tool, and it's a tool that he has that other people don't have. Understandable. But Erika also has that too, and no one's complaining about Erika, right? And it's similar. It's not quite the same. So, is Sarada stronger than Pain? Because I banned Sarada in the tier list, right? And I actually think crazy take, because I main Pain, right? And I actually main Yugito. People don't know that. I play Pain all the time, and I show you guys. I don't show you Yugito because, I mean, it's to play her. I don't like to use the word optimally, but to play her optimally and to play her strategically and to play her to win at all costs, it's scary. With Sarada's kunai in her combo, her tilt, in her like Nagato type priority in her combos. I call her PTS Nagato because she's almost like what a Nagato would be like if he was a kid Nagato. If you remember, he used to have all the wind, I think it was like wind jutsus and water jutsus and stuff like that when he was a kid before he got the Rinnegan. He was still really strong. So yeah, I mean, she also has the lightning flicker, which is pretty good, but the ultimate jutsu cast, like she throws fireballs out and it actually surrounds her like a protective barrier and you can still get hit, but it actually has tracking. The projectile on the ultimate jutsu has tracking and it actually cuts through almost everything. It's like an infernal fireball. So she's nuts, right? Like absolutely crazy. Really, really good. And I think that in many ways, Sada is Pain's natural counter in the game. And it's a hot take, but I think she's a little bit stronger overall to him, or at least has a lot more strength at a lower skill ceiling, right? So we don't talk, this is another factor we don't talk about. Pain has an insanely high skill ceiling, even though he comes with a lot of good things right off the bat. He's a high skill ceiling character. He has a higher skill ceiling than Nagato. So perhaps one of the reasons why we keep Pain usually in the mix and we take Nagato out sometimes is we recognize that, hey, when I put in effort into this character, it rewards me. Some Pains are a lot more skilled, a lot better at the game than others. And it's because of the high skill ceiling, there's room to inject your skill to go up, right? So back to Yugito, I don't think she's as strong as Pain, and I don't think Pain is as strong as Sarada, or at least Sarada just gives you too much off the bat that's automatic. So there's that sort of discrepancy. You can disagree with me in the comments below and tell me why, and there's no problem. Let's keep it moving. Even if none of that is true and I'm completely wrong, that's fine. Let's look at her counters and is there counterplay? Natural counter. Berserk Obito. Tilt past it. Free tilt with her? Well, free tilt with him. And you can cancel it. So he's a natural counter. You can build a team of 2 or build a team of 3 with this character. And then you can pick any 2 other characters that you want, but then have him on the team just so that he can counter her. And if you choose the fireball option, it's a great, and you put him in the lead, you get good ninja tools, and you can actually just hit her with a fireball. She wants to do a tilt, punish her with a fireball. Itachi, same thing. He's a natural hard counter. You punish her with the fireball, mix it up with the tilt, throw some kunai at her to disrespect her. And of course, Itachi is really, really good. He's not a meta character, but he's really, really good. He's up there. He's one of the best characters in the game. He has the highest pick rate in the game with around 5%. Watch my top 25 most used characters in Naruto Storm 4, and you'll see the exact pick rate from the day 1 to about 7 years later, about a month or 2 ago, or whatever. This is the character people use the most, but they don't use him that often in competitive matches or meta, but I think they probably should. I think there's some magic there that we're not tapping into. Okay, he counters her, no problem. It makes her look like a scared little pussycat, okay? You're going to have to put work in, but it's a hard counter. Same thing, Rinnegan Sharingan Sasuke with a fireball projectile, maybe any kind of projectile, like a normal fireball, Amaterasu, or Inferno Fireball, counters. Deidara, hard counters. Super fast, like free, long-range combos, counters her. Danzo, hard counter. Of course, we want to ban the awakening actions if we want to play competitively, right? But online, almost no one is gonna go and abide by these bans. You know, you should for yourself to build your own skill levels up, but it no like almost nobody's gonna do that. Maybe they will one day, right? But he pretty much hard counters her too, or like he's pretty good at countering her. Shisui as well. He can Z dash. He has insane mobility. Check out my guide on how to Z dash. Some characters can't do it that well. Like if you have a Karen, like from Taka Team Taka, she doesn't have the mobility to really Z dash that well. You can do it, but it's going to be tough. But characters like Minato, Shisui, they can Z dash, and also he has the Halo Jutsu. Even the Fireball Jutsu will probably counter Yugito. Shino, easy counter, eats up Yugito. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, no problem. Actually, any Roshi will do, but if you put him in the lead, you get pretty good ninja tools, and you use the jutsu below, not the one at top, like the second option. It's the air fireball. It's kind of like Itachi's. It's nowhere near as good, but it will do the job to counter her and pressure. Onaki, amazing boulder jutsu, counters Yugito, no problem. You can jutsu buffer this, like I think pretty easily. Third Hokage, he counters her too, especially in his awakening. He counters almost everything in the game. But if you use the fireball jutsu, put him in the lead, pretty good ninja tools, counters her. I mean, even if you just wait for her to do on landing frames, you will counter her with the dragon fire. So this is where the skill comes in. This is where the timing comes in, right? Madara, pretty damn hard to counter. Like probably that's kind of funny, Onoki and Madara together. Hard counter right there, okay? Is the third Hokage. Obito and Kakashi, they both hard counter. Kakashi more, it's tough. It's 50-50, but once you get up close in jail, she's yours for the most part, right? Or you can keep her off of you by putting pressure on her, right? And then if you put him in the front, and okay, this is the thing. Even I like to use the Chidori or Lightning Blade or whatever, right? Storm 2, Storm 3 Kakashi. But if you use the Fireball Jutsu, it should hard counter her, okay? Oh, this Obito's tilt, easy. Oh, she wants to tilt? I'll tilt. And it has a little bit of tracking, no problem. The Jutsu too is okay. And then the combos too are pretty good. You dash stop, do the combos, no problem. This Sasuke 2, Infernal Fireball or Heavenly Hand Power or whatever, like there's options. Chidori could be tough, right? Chidori doesn't really counter Yugito. You need something else to pressure her and then pressure her with the Chidori. The Chidori needs to be protected. Enigara with a Sand Shower, easy GG, for the most part. 10-10 square button combos, right? Especially if you jump in the air and do the air combo, then you switch out for safety. Dari, Jutsu, 10-10, square button combo or Jutsu, hard counter, like crazy, dude. This Mizukage, I think that's a hard counter. Even Ino, you just punish her. Every time she tilts, you punish her with a Chakra Shuriken and see how often she's going to do it. She's going to stop tilting you, bro. Because she's going to end up racking up so much poison damage. It's going to be annoying and a stupid fight. She's going to tilt spam and you're going to like hit her with Chakra Shurikens. But eventually you can also hit her with her Flower Bomb or, Jutsu Buffer or use the Jutsu Glitch, Chakra Recovery Glitch. And you can just play that game. Also, when you awaken it with Ino, I'm pretty sure there's 3 Flower Bombs. Like in Revolution, they made that change, I'm pretty sure. So like Ino's actually like a hard counter to Yugito, which is kind of crazy. Fireball Sasuke, hard counter. Maybe the Jutsu, Ultimate Jutsu Karen could counter too, maybe. Orochimaru as well is kind of like a hard counter, soft counter. The Snake Bear Jutsu, you can get her, You can jail her and stuff like that, put pressure. Surprisingly, Mass Man is kind of also a hard counter, but I put him on the lower end of the list. Kakuzu's Jutsu, he counters. Minato's movement counters. You do the Z dash, right? Watch the tutorial. It's not long. You just watch the tutorial. You can Z dash. His movement can counter hers. You can outspace her, but you have to put a lot of effort in and skill. So, I mean, it's kind of annoying. I put soft counters here, and I just put like Asuma. I mean, I have videos on this of me beating Yugito players. War Toby, his instant awakening. He has awakening actions, not instant awakening. He has awakening actions. Edo Minato can do it. This guy's got Mitsuki has a really good jutsu. Hinata can do it with her jutsu, air palm and stuff like that. Kabuto's jutsu and ultimate jutsu can pressure her, and the snakes can pressure her. His tilt actually goes under her tilt. So like there's some actual counterplay there. Like this is an actual this could be like a 50-50 match for them. Sai, just throw Chakra Shurikens at her or hit her with the Jutsu on the ground. So when she lands on the dogs. Zabza, Water Dragon counters that, but it's a soft counter for sure. Kamui is really cool because it can eat up the tilt, and then you can switch and then go dash at her with somebody else. Really interesting. You don't see that, right? Also, any projectile like a fireball. Shino, yeah, his like normal shuriken, you just kind of hit her with those, pressure her, and then you go in. Jirobo, same thing. You just throw boulders at her, and it's hilarious, but he soft counters her. You just throw normal boulders at her if you play her. I mean, obviously, if you're going to throw normal boulders like all the time, it's not going to really work. People can dash you and your guard opens up. But against her, she can't really dash you because she's in the action of making a tilt. As well, if you're far enough away, you just do the up combo, and then his kunai in his combo will track. It has the best tracking in the game. It will go and find her, and then she'll just be stunned. And then you just jump and dash over it, the tilt that's on the ground, because it has a landmine effect, right? Which is the other aspect is that there's actually strategy to playing as Yugito, even though it doesn't seem that way. You can either just punish them with it immediately when they dash you. You can predict it and hit them from a long range, like it has a trajectory, right? So you get them when it's about to hit the ground, but it hits them instead. There's strike back, knockback. You can layer them, and there's like a minefield effect. So you can usually you either put like none out, one out, two out, three out, and then there's certain formations. You've never heard people talk like that, but that's how I play Yugito when I play her as a main. But I almost never play her like less than 1%. 1% of the 1% of the time, like I forget about her because I know how strong and broken she is, and I understand if people want to ban her, I get it, but I don't think she should be banned. If you want to ban her, whatever. It's whatever, dude. Okay, so yeah, Rock Lee, yeah, he's a soft counter. Explaining that would be tough, but I'm pretty sure he can Z dash. And then his air combo, right? Like if you just win that air combo battle and you have one substitution over her, then you beat her, right? Then you can combo to alt from the infinite air combo. I have tutorials on that as well, in the infinite air combos, how to do it. PTS, maybe. Don't play her enough. Yeah, for sure, this fireball should be able to counter her. It might not go up, though, enough in track. Same thing with this Sasuke, I'm pretty sure can counter her with a fireball. Utakata could potentially, but is very slow with the bubbles. I feel like I don't play this character that much. I haven't explored him yet, Momoshiki, but he should be able to counter her, especially with the low chakra cost on his jutsu. The Boruto that throws the Rasengan projectile, it tracks and follows you in the air. That one should be a soft counter at least, and I think that one comes with a water bullet tilt. That might even counter her tilt. So it could be a hard counter. Mu, surprisingly, I think he's a horrible character, not really strong, but if you hit her with the jutsu in the landing frames when she's landing after the tilt, that should technically counter her. There may be other counters, like maybe PTS Shikamaru and stuff like that, but guys, there are so many counters to Yugito. Why not just add one of these characters to your team and then counter her? Lots of options, lots of things here, So it is what it is, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you so much for all your support over the last few months. It's been amazing and a bit overwhelming, and I hope I'm helping you guys out, and I think we're all helping each other out, which is the most important thing.